Hi, this is David here at Highland Campervans and welcome to the handover video for this VW Transporter clear-cut conversion. So we're going to take you around the van and quickly show you the major features and operation of the van to help you get all settled in for your first few adventures out and about. What I do recommend is that you maybe bookmark the video or download it to your device for later reference and hopefully you'll find it useful. So all that's left for me to say is enjoy the video and I will see you at the other end. Located just under the kitchen unit on your VW, you're going to come across the power management system, which is this idle device just here. Now, this houses the master switches for converting the battery. So when the vehicle is not being used, you would have the battery in off position. When you're in the van making use of it, want to run the lights, you put it into van mode. If you need to, you can switch the vehicle's own battery by switching car in case the ledger battery has failed. If you just want to check the battery conditions, then you just flick the switch and this indicator here will show you the battery conditions. So if I switch this off and then move it up, and there we go, that is the battery conditions displayed just there for you. The charger button allows you to provide charge for the battery systems. So if you're on a hookup, you can use the system to charge the batteries. If you don't want it to do that, you just switch the system off. And again, then you can then check the battery statuses by using this device here to see how the batteries are doing. So charger on, band back on, and you can see there high is now receiving charge. The button to the side is the water pump. So if you want to run water through the tap system, obviously do make sure there's water in the tank before you go ahead and do that. You turn this on and this will then turn the water pump on and that'll allow water to flow through the tap. You've got your RDC board just here. This allows you to check the breaker circuits and you can also run electrical safety test just there, make sure it trips correctly. And then across the bottom here, you have your priority lat. So this means if you've got a charger system on one of the batteries and you've got the wrong around, it lets you know there's an error there. And then finally, you've got your onboard fuses located just here. And that there covers our power management system. Let's take a look at the kitchen sink and then the gas hob. So before using the kitchen sink, we do need to make sure that we have fresh water in the tank, which is located in the back of the van, which will be in another part of this video, and that you have turned the water pump on the power management system located just before the sink. So once you've done that, you have the pump on, you lift the tap up to the position you need, and then turn the faucet control on. And that there is your water coming through for you. So when you are winterizing the van, it's very important to drain the water out of your vehicle. Now to do that, you would empty the tank out the back of the van, turn the water pump on, and then run the tap until no more water comes through. Once you've done, switch the water pump off, leave the tap then open. That allows any moisture to evaporate and escape from your lines. That there would make sure this is fully winterized. It's worth bearing in mind that your van has a pass-through waste system. So what that means is that any wastewater from the sink will go straight through the bottom of the van and onto the floor underneath. Now, certain campsites will require you to have a catch bucket or some sort of container to catch the wastewater. Check in with the campsites wherever you park to find out more information about that. Catch containers, you can use a bucket, a container, or you can buy online Pacific waste catch containers. So moving on to the gas hob. So the gas is located underneath the gas hob in a lower cupboard. I'll cover that in another part of this video for you. So with the gas turned on, you have two controls to turn the gas on. So push and hold, press the sparker. That's one, give it a second. And then we have two, like so. And that's our two burner rings there. Whoops. Give that a few more moments. And there we go. And that's our gas rings there. To turn them off, just rotate them around till the gas stops coming through. And if you are finished with the gas, it's not a bad idea to turn the bottle back off again. Bear in mind the gas ventilation rules when cooking. You need to have a window open or a door open while cooking with gas. You must have a form of ventilation coming to the vehicle. Don't cook in here when everything is all closed. That's not good practice. Likewise, if you have been cooking on here for a wee while, all these are lit, do not close the glass. There's a warning sticker here just down. But once you've finished cooking, give this a few moments to cool off before closing this down. And that there covers our sink and our gas units. In the cupboard located next to the fridge and below the hob unit, you're going to find your camp gas bottle. So for turning the gas on, all we need to do is turn the regulator on the top of the bottle and we turn that anti-clockwise and that there will open the gas bottle up. Now, For the first time you're using the gas, you may need to hold the hob button down for a few moments to draw the gas through before it'll ignite. And when you're finished with the gas, you just rotate it to the right, and that there will shut the bottle back off again. Now, I definitely recommend that when you are traveling that you turn the bottle off just for safety. And for winterization, it's also very good practice to switch the gas bottle off as well. Now, an important thing to note with camp gas bottles is the little blue handles. Now, these are required to be returned with the camp gas bottle, so do make sure you don't lose these, or there will be a surcharge by the gas vendor to replace them down the line. And that there is the gas locker. Now we're going to take a look at how to put the bed down in the back of your VW. And this is a very straightforward process. There's a lever here which you pull and lift to bring the seat down. So drag it forwards. Now normally you need to put a little bit of weight on the top of the seat. And there we go. And that is the seat now down, and that's now converted into a bed for you. So to put the bed back up again, there is a red lever at the front of the seat base. Pull on that and then slide the bed back into place. There's the red lever there for your reference. And that is the bed up and down in the back of your campervan. Let's take a look about how you will raise the roof inside your Clear-Cut camper. So first things first, what we need to do is we need to slide the cover back, like so. Now this canvas here, I've already undone it. It will normally be attached up with these little Velcro straps. So once you've undone those, pull the canvas down, so it's all nice and free down. And then we're going to rotate this handle here. Now this handle here rotates anti-clockwise, and it's only a slight turn to release the latches on either side. So let's do that. There's the click, and then push the roof up. Give it a good push, and the roof will go up by its own steam. Now, I tend to count to 3. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Then I know the roof is fully up. And then to raise the lower neck section, we give this a good push. And that there is the roof fully raised. Now, if you are wanted to use the actual bed element, you would just leave this back down again. So just use the handle to help pull this back down. And then there's a wee mattress just on there. The best way to access that is to come in through the passenger seat, maybe take the head restraint off, and actually use this seat as a ladder to get up into the roof side of things. So, bringing the roof back down again. So, when you want to bring the roof back down, you do need to make sure you brought the lower section down first. And then it's a case of bringing the roof down on top of the roof line itself by using the pull handles. So I will demonstrate that for you just now. And this here, what you want to do is just make sure the canvas are all pulled in, and then use the 2 handles and bring the roof down firmly. Make sure it's secure. That's it there. And then we can roll this up. And tuck that all in. And then you can close this part over. And there we go. Your campervan is fitted with a Waco fridge. Now the Waco fridge operates on its own circuit. So when the fridge is switched on, it will be on either the leisure circuit or it will be running from the engine. So to turn the fridge on, we open the door, and it's this button just here to turn the fridge on. This button just here will allow you to adjust the temperature settings for the actual fridge unit itself. And if you want to switch the fridge off permanently, so you don't need the fridge on, maybe winterize the van, or you finish with your trip and you don't want the battery being drained, we hold the button down here, and that there turns the fridge off. Now, if you are leaving the fridge off, it's not a bad idea to put the door into the ventilation mode, which is what this little bit here is all about. So if you bring the door to, put this onto vent, and then you can open the door partially, and that allows the door to ventilate so it doesn't get all mildewy or moldy over time. Definitely do this during the winterization of your vehicle. And then to return that, just shut the door, push this back across, and that will allow then the door to open normally. And that there is the fridge on board your van. Located at the back of your VW van, there is this storage locker here, and hiding inside the storage locker, you are going to find the leisure battery at the very back, and then you have your water tank on board. Now your water tank has an inline submersible water pump which is connected to this tap, this top just here. So when you want to empty or fill the bottle, undo this, retract the pump out, and then fill or dispose of your water. Now do make sure not to run the pump for too long if this is empty, as you can draw air through and you can potentially do damage to the pump. But as part of your winterization, you do want to make sure that you have emptied this out fully. Located on the driver's side at the rear of the vehicle, you are going to find this, and this here is your electric hookup point for your vehicle. Now when you're hooking up your vehicle, a very important thing to note is you plug the van in first, and then you connect the van to the power source secondary. That there just means that you avoid running with a live cable when you're plugging your van in. Also a good thing to do is always check the circuit breaker at the power source to make sure that is working correctly. Although your van does have its own trip system, you don't want the van to be the absolute last line of defense when it comes to electrics on board your vehicle. When you are disconnecting your vehicle, what you would do is you would disconnect the cable source first and then disconnect the van last. Again, this avoids you traveling with a live cable. Now when you're stowing your cable, it's not a bad idea to be checking your cable for any nicks, tears, or any signs of damage on your cable, which could occur from boots, bicycles, prams, all sorts of things that could run over it in a campsite. And also what you want to do is make sure that you check the plug end to make sure there's no cracks or damage to the plug. If you suspect any damage to your cable, it's strongly recommended that you replace it immediately. So there you go. That was the handover video for the Clear-Cut VW Transporter. I hope you find it useful and it gets you all settled ready for your first few adventures out and about in your van. But of course, myself and the rest of the team here at Highland Campers are always on hand to help you out if you're a little bit stuck in the field or just need some tips and advice. Please just reach out to us. All that's left for me to say is I wish you many happy miles motoring in your van, enjoying many new adventures. And I look forward to seeing you again sometime soon here at Highland Campervans. Bye for now.